Okay, so to look at the resource section of the paper, I think you guys did pretty well on this. You need to learn the definition of a species. So a species is a group of organisms. And yes, they look similar, but some of you look similar to chimpanzees, and you're not the same species as a chimpanzee. The important thing is that they are able to interbreed to produce viable offspring. In other words, offspring that can produce their own babies. So a horse and a donkey can actually mate to produce an offspring, but that offspring is sterile because they are different species. So the way that we define a species is by the ability to all interbreed to produce viable offspring. Question B, 2 ways that scavengers such as condors play a role in an ecosystem. Lots of you picked up on the fact that they will feed on dead carrion, so they are helping with decomposition, returning nutrients to the soil. They're also competitors with other scavenging birds, so that's a role that they play in the ecosystem. They might compete for space in nesting sites with other birds. When they are defecating, so that those nutrients are returning to the soil as well, so that's another role that they play in the ecosystem. So clearing out this carrion, but also then passing along the nutrients. So you can think of a variety of ways that they play a role in the ecosystem. Make sure you're not repeating yourself. And in this kind of question, think about all the ways roles in an ecosystem. Are they competitors? Are they parasites? No, so you can pull that off. But yes, they must compete with someone. Who do they feed on? Where does their outputs go? So what goes into them? What comes out of them? And you'll be able to then cover all the aspects of the role they play in the ecosystem. 2 features that could be used to construct a simple key. It's not good to use size, because if you look up in the sky and you see a bird that looks, like this, you don't have anything to compare it to know if it's big. So using big or small is not great, and using colors isn't great either, because colors can be variable. But those white flashes that some of them have on their legs, the black and white banding and the description of those patterns, that would get you to the marks that you need. And I allowed size, but I would just like you to think about that in your IB exam in May, that perhaps you think of other characters besides size, because it's not a good character and you might get marked down on it. So question D, what would make them vulnerable to extinction? Well, you can't say that they're rare, because then you're making a circular argument. They're already rare. We know they're rare. What's making them prone to extinction? So one thing is the pressure from hunting. So the fact that they're a threat to farmers, or that they're a prized specimen, and also that they're a case-selected species. You didn't have to say that, but perhaps you said they had long lives, or they had slow generation times, or they only laid, 1 egg at a time. So that's going to make them more prone to extinction.